cookies are super easy to make. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. We're going to start off. I'm going to be making a double batch. So we're going to start off, let me put on some gloves. So we're going to start off with 3.5 sticks of a plant-based butter or margarine. So there we have our 3.5 sticks of vegan plant-based butter in the bowl. Our next ingredient is going to be 1 cup of granulated sugar. You can also use a super fine sugar, or you can also use, I think, what's known as a caster sugar, whatever you choose. We're going to use 1 cup and a little bit. Measure with the heart. Then we're also going to add 1 teaspoon, or I guess 2 teaspoons, or measure with the heart. Oh my goodness! Accidents happen. Be right back.
You made a mess.
Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna go with 1 teaspoon of salt. And that was kind of a bummer because that was my nice, tasty, flavorful Himalayan salt. So 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to be adding 7 tablespoons of plant-based milk. Now, things I'm going to recommend to you if you happen to be doing gluten-free baking. It is really important to use like a coconut or a oat milk in your gluten-free baked goods. It's important to do so because almond milk will dry out your goods, whereas your oat milk will help make your gluten-free goods nice and baked goods nice and moist and won't dry them out. So I have got here 7 tablespoons of oat milk. Now, another thing that's also really important is to let your batter sit for about 30 minutes prior, and even chill for 30 minutes prior to, like, if you happen to be making chocolate chip cookies or any kind of other cookies that are a batter-based cookie, like a peanut butter cookie, oatmeal cookie. Make sure you let your batter sit or chill for approximately 30 minutes. Oh, another thing that's also really important is any ingredients that go into baked goods. Always have room temperature eggs or room temperature milk or room temperature butter. All of your ingredients that when you're making gluten-free baked goods, have them at room temperature. So room temperature is always really important. Don't aerate or cream this mixture too much. We're now going to be adding slowly 5.5 cups of a gluten-free flour blend. Now, if you don't happen to have a flour blend that has xanthan gum, then you have to also add some xanthan gum. So be sure to do that. So once this dough is completely mixed, it's going to be soft, and I'm going to use a piping bag and pipe it on to the cookie sheet, a parchment lined cookie sheet. Now would be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So this is what our dough is going to look like. It's going to be nice and soft, but not runny. Okay, I ended up putting on a larger piping tip because I didn't think it would be appropriate to make my batter looser. So you're going to squeeze this out. so that it's a log. Not sure if I'm doing this correctly, but we're gonna learn together. I think the ends are supposed to be rounded from what I've seen in pictures. If you can't tell, this is the first time I'm making butter cookies. Okay, so this is what they look like. We're making some S and some little barrel cookies. So we're gonna bake these in the oven at 350 for 13 to 16 minutes until lightly golden brown. So with this being a double recipe, you should get approximately like 60 cookies. So we'll see if I'm piping them too big or, oh, another thing that's really important is that you want to have your baking rack in the middle of the oven. There we go. Excited to see how they're gonna turn out. Okay, so while those cookies are baking in the oven, let's go over some tips for baking gluten-free, specifically these butter cookies. These butter cookies, I know I said earlier, it's really important for cookies like chocolate chip or oatmeal raisins, stuff like that, to chill them in the fridge for 30 minutes prior to baking them. These butter cookies, you do not need to chill them prior to baking them. You want your dough to be soft so that you're able to pipe it out. Now, the baking time of 14 to 16 minutes, that's also going to depend on how large you make your cookies. So maybe set your timer for 10 to 12 minutes, watch them, and when they start to get lightly golden on the edges, take them out. Another thing is that you want to let the cookies cool on the baking sheet for at least 10 minutes prior to moving them to the wire rack. Now, the little ones that we made that look like little thumbs or fingers with lines in them, if you want, you can fill them with strawberry or raspberry jam, dip them in chocolate, put some sprinkles on them. Another tip is make sure when you're piping them, you leave a 1-inch space apart to allow them to slightly expand. Okay, it has been, I think, 14 or 15 minutes. And as you can see, they're starting to lightly golden brown. And we're going to take them out of the oven, place them on a cookie sheet, and these are going to sit here for 10 minutes before we place them onto the wire rack. So these have cooled, and I'm just going to show you the underside, and that is at 15 minutes. So we're going to place these onto the wire rack. We put our other cookie sheet already in the oven. Let's check underneath here. Those are nicely gold. These are going to be so good. Yeah, I just wanted to show you what they look like underneath once they're baked. Okay, so now to melt the chocolate, we're going to use some Enjoy Life dark chocolate morsels. And as you can see here, we have a double boiler. Now you could probably measure them and you could probably melt them 30 seconds apart in the microwave and stuff like that, but I'm going to put this in my double boiler and let my chocolate melt, and then I'm going to dip my cookies. This whole setup is just streamlined and is going to be just super easy to dip the end of my cookies into some chocolate and put some sprinkles onto half of them. So just thought I'd show you this process. I also add in a tablespoon or two of some coconut oil to melt in with the chocolate chips. Try not to burn yourself in the process. So we're melting our chocolate, getting it ready to dip our butter cookies. Is your mouth watering yet? Oh my gosh, these are going to be so good. Okay, here they are. Some with sprinkles, some not with sprinkles. All 60 of our Butterfinger, butter cookies, buttercream cookies, whatever you want to call them. So, let's do a taste test. Okay, so this is the first time that I've made gluten and dairy-free buttercream cookies or Butterfinger cookies. I'm not even sure, but let's give it a try. I've got one here that is a circle, or I tried to make kind of like a pretzel. So we're gonna try this one and see how they taste. And we're really hoping that they're gonna be very, very good. Oh my goodness. And I'm glad I didn't do half of the cookie in chocolate, that I just dipped the end. Pardon me for talking with my mouth full, but these are absolutely decadent, and they're gonna go look so pretty in a goodies tin. So yeah, there you have it. Buttercream cookies. Everyone for tuning in on my Christmas baking series, aka Baking Vlogmas, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.